I have some really bad news for you guys. It's gonna break your hearts. It broke my heart, but we're gonna spend the beginning of this video trying to make it better. We're gonna do this together, guys. And also, sorry if you hear kids screaming outside. Shut the fuck up, please. I'm also losing my voice. I know. So I brought my little porg to VidCon, and if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what I'm about to show you, and it's ugly, okay? It's gonna be ugly. I brought him to VidCon, and people were messing around with him the whole time, playing hide and seek with him, and then on the very last day, the day that we were going home, one of my friends threw him. This is so terrifying. He looks traumatized. But honestly, I have the eyeball right here, and we're gonna fix him because we can. Also, I'm telling more paranormal stories. Welcome back. I have more of your guys' paranormal stories, to be specific. But we're gonna fix his eye first because this is more important to me than YouTube, because this is my child, okay? So we're just gonna fix it. It's gonna take 4 seconds, honestly, but whatever. It literally happened, and my friend threw him, and he kind of made a face. All my friends know how much this little man's means to me, so I just kind of assumed that he was like fucking with me because he knew that this is like my child. And so he threw him at the floor, like outside on the concrete, and he was like, huh! And I was like, it's not funny. I was like, just give him back. And he was like, no. He's like, I'm so sorry. For some reason I thought, like, I don't know, it's like a stuffed animal. It's not going to explode if it hits the ground. But then I saw that the eye fell off. See, look, he's already back to normal. He can sit back here with us, but if he falls again, he'll probably lose an eye, but that's okay. Also, somebody sent me a picture of a porg on Twitter, and they were like, if I send this to you, will you marry me? Yes. I already replied to their tweet, but yes, I will. But I'm back, and I have more of your guys' paranormal stories. I already said that, but I feel obligated to say it again. I don't know why. I'm losing my voice. I get sick all the time, you guys, and I don't know why. It's pissing me off. I never got sick before. I never did. But I'm losing my voice. So I also wanted to say that the second part to my scary story that I read last weekend, or like, oh fuck, has it been 2 weeks now? 2 weekends ago? I'm sorry. I lost the original video that I filmed because I had it on Kayla's computer and she didn't realize that I hadn't uploaded it, so she actually deleted it. Fuck you, Kayla. So I have to refilm that video, but I don't have a voice right now, so I can't sit there for an hour and film a video like that, so I'm gonna have to wait until next weekend. I'm really sorry about that. Life happens. I'm a human. It's fine. You guys will survive, but I have paranormal stories that I'm gonna read to you guys, and I have quite a few. So we're gonna see how far we can get before I actually die. This will be my last video you ever see. I actually tried to film this video the other day too, and I literally, like halfway through my intro, I just like completely lost my voice, and I was like, okay, so I just gave up. Kids, I don't know if you guys can hear that ever. I feel like there's always background noise and I'm always like apologizing for it, and I'm like, I'm so sorry if you can hear like the kids. There's no way you don't hear that. Anyways, okay, for some reason this is what was happening the other day. Like, I click on the story because I saved a bunch of them. Like, I was on my flight and I was actually productive for once, and I went through a bunch of my emails and I saved a bunch of stories, and they won't load, and I don't know why. Okay, some of them are loading now. So this one's from Jada. Nice name. Almost. This one's called I Had a Tea Party with My Dead Sister. She said, hi, my name is Jada, and I'm just gonna get right into the story. I was about 2 when my mom had a miscarriage to what would have been my little sister. I was an only child at the time, and my mom said I would stay up at night talking to the air. One night I had an entire tea party set up, talking to someone and having a full-on conversation. At this time I was around 3 or 4. My mom said she just stood there listening, watched me have a tea party with what she thought was just myself. I ended up getting in bed and going to sleep after a while, and the next morning my mom asked me who I was having a tea party with, and I told her it was my dead sister and that she visited me a lot. My mom never told me I had an unborn sister until I was 11, so there's no way I would have known at the time. Wait, that's actually fucking insane. My mom also never got far enough in the pregnancy to find out the gender of the child, which is how she knows it would have been a girl. Well, that's my super short and not even scary story, but I have multiple other scary stories I could share. Always send your stories. Always send them. Don't even ask. But that is actually insane. Anyways, thank you for being amazing, and I love your videos. Well, I love you, so I win. Come on, stories. You can do this. I have faith in you. They're not loading. There's no way only one of them is gonna load. There's no way. Okay, I'm gonna grab my laptop and I'm gonna see if they'll load on there, because for some reason my phone won't load shit. My life is so hard. Actually, I could probably get like the Gmail app. That'd probably work. Let's do that. Okay, let's get the Gmail app, or we could go on gmail.com. Okay, so I'm assuming that because I was on my flight, I didn't really have actual Wi-Fi. So none of the stories actually moved to the folder that I wanted to, but I can easily throw my fucking phone. I can easily look up the stories and find them that way, because they weren't on the Gmail website either. So here we are. So this one's from Kova, and this one says, it's always with me and doesn't want to leave. Hi, my name is Kova, and I seriously don't know how to scare the demon away. This is already starting off so terrifying. It all started when I was 4. One night I was sleeping and I started screaming. My mom ran to my room, and when she asked me what was going on, I told her that a tall man was trying to hurt me and that I didn't want to be in my room with him. My mom thought it was a dream, so she told me it was just a dream and that I shouldn't worry. She kissed my forehead and then she left. As she walked away from the room, the door slowly shut. I don't remember any of it, but my mom told me this story 2 weeks ago, so it all makes sense now. Nothing happened until I was 6. I've always had sleep paralysis, and every fucking night I would wake up screaming to the point of passing out. Every night was the same nightmare. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and when I would look through the door, I would see a tall figure somehow watching me, and then I would just scream and pass out. It was so normal. It was so normal for me that my parents wouldn't even worry about it. The nightmares eventually stopped when one night I screamed, "God, please stop." The next night it was pure silence and no nightmares at all. But then it got worse. I would see his shadows everywhere. My parents' room is at the end of a long hallway, and every time I would walk away from the room, I would feel him screaming in my ear, "Get away." When I told my parents, they thought I was insane and gave me pills to stop the nightmares, but he wouldn't leave. This hasn't stopped since I was 10, and I'm 14. This shit keeps getting more intense. Like, I'd be in my room and books would fall over in front of me and open in random pages. Or when I'm home alone, I can hear my mom in her room calling me. When I'm about to go, I remember that there's nobody home with me. That's like the worst thing in the world. That's the worst. That's awful. That's, more shit keeps happening and I don't know how to keep him away from me. P.S. Love you and hi from Spain. What the fuck? I don't know how to help you. I don't know what advice to give you guys. I wish I could help you guys with these things, actually. But I can't. I'm just here to read them for the world. And by the world, I mean my 100,000 subscribers. Okay, let's find some more. Oh, see, no, okay, he's like perfectly fine now. His eye's all good. I ain't gotta worry about it anymore. Okay, this one's from Casey Williams, and it says, "Bitch, this is short, but you better read this, hunty. I hate my life." I feel you. She said, okay, this is one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me. When I was a bit younger, maybe 12, I'm 18 now, my mom and I were staying the night at her friend's house because they wanted to have some drinks and I wanted to hang out with her friend's daughters. It was a normal night. We had fun, played games, they drank, and we sang karaoke. Then it came time to fall asleep. The youngest daughter got scared in the middle of the night because she was afraid of the dark, so am I. So she ended up going into my mom's friend's room and sleeping in there for the night. It was just me and the oldest daughter. She was like 2.5 years younger than me. We were just talking for a bit and then we were about to go to sleep and she starts crying, saying things like, "No, please, leave me alone," and "No, I can't help you," and other sketchy things. So I asked her what was up and she told me, "Get this." I'd be like, "Bitch, what?" "There's this guy I always see who wants my help and I don't know how to help him." And then we just kind of laid there in bed for a bit. I literally would be like, "What? Who?" She was still crying and then said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he has red eyes and doesn't like girls." Thanks for forgetting to mention that. Anyways, so we got scared and we decided we wanted to sleep as close to my mom and her mom as possible, so we moved camp into the living room. Now this is where it gets creepy, as if none of that was creepy at all. We were laying on the couch and I was literally seconds away from being dead asleep and she wakes me up. "Casey, do you see that?" By this time I was pretty much awake. I look at what she was referring to, and in the middle of the kitchen, which you could see perfectly from the living room, there was this completely black figure with red eyes, standing there, just staring at us. And if you thought that was bad, just wait. Usually you see figures for like 0.5 seconds and then it'll disappear. But with this, that was not the case. He was there all night. All night. And I swear, every time I looked at him, he was closer to us. No thanks. No thanks, Casey. I gotta go, actually. My mom called. Needless to say, I didn't sleep that night and I never slept there ever again. There have been other scarier things, but this was the freakiest thing that ever happened to me. Please send me your other stories. I actually think I'm dying and it's really hot in here. I don't know why I continue to wear sweatshirts when it's like 100 degrees outside, because I can't have my air conditioning on when I film. I'm just like asking for death at this point, but it's fine. Also, you guys, stop using my scary story email to sign up for porn websites, dating websites, and Michaels. If you guys don't want to give your email to Michaels, don't give them mine. I hate you guys. I get so many spam emails on this thing. Anime porn. What? Who? Come on, guys. Okay, this one's from Amy, and this one says, "A demon dog possessed me." Hi, Courtney. My name is Amy, and I have a scary story for you. I've pretty much watched all of your reading fan stories videos, and I'm pretty sure you've never read a story like this, so here it goes. I'm excited. I had gone to my friend's house for a sleepover for her birthday, and it was just me, her, and one other friend. Let's call the friends whose birthday it was Chloe, and the other friend will be Grace. It was getting late and we decided to go out in the backyard and play with my friend's dogs. I'll call her Ruby. It was around 10 p.m., which makes this even creepier. So my friend's backyard has a gate on the end of it that leads into a field, and all of the houses on that street have gardens that lead into the same field, if you get what I mean. Yeah, I think I get it. Like, pretty much every house is connected by a garden. How beautiful. So it's completely enclosed by houses apart from one path that leads all the way through the field. We were just playing with our dog when we looked into the field and saw a woman. I assume, though, I have no idea. She was dressed in all black, walking a huge black wolf-like dog. Just, you know, a casual walk at 10 p.m. Actually, people do that in Arizona all the time because it's too hot to walk your dogs or walk in general during the day, so people do it later at night. But we're gonna go with the creepy aspect. We thought it was weird since it wasn't exactly warm either, like there wasn't anyone else around. Okay, wait. Thank you for clarifying. because now it's just creepy. I like to kind of consider myself sort of a medium, or I can sense and see spirits and hear them talking. In this situation, I could sense that something was off, but I couldn't tell what since we were so far away from the dog. Then the woman just stopped in the middle of the path and started petting the dog. The dog turned its head to us and its eyes were a bright, glowing red. This creeped us all out and Grace said to just go inside, but something made me want to keep staring at it as if I was drawn to it, being hypnotized. My friends called me as they were already halfway to the door, and I turned to look at them for one, and I mean 1 second, before I turned and looked back and both the dog and the woman had disappeared. The field would take at least 5 minutes to get all the way across, and this woman and the dog were right in the center of it, so there's no way they could have just walked off. It's safe to say we were thoroughly creeped out, and we were about to head inside when my friend's dog wouldn't come. I looked into its eyes for a second and then noticed everything went completely black. I heard a voice that said I needed to stay calm and that I was safe. Then my vision came back and I was staring directly at my friends who were looking at me like I had gone insane. They told me that I was staring at my friend's dog and then my eyes went completely white and I had a huge grin on my face. No. They said I began to lift up and hover above the ground. What? What? They said I began to lift up and hover above the ground while slowly turning to them with the same expression on my face, white eyes, huge grin, before dropping back down to the ground with normal eyes and a confused expression on my face. We ran straight inside and up to my friend's room, but then later on, we heard the handle of her door click and the door wouldn't open. We were screaming for her parents, but nobody came. Eventually, we all slammed against it at the same time and it opened. We ran down to her parents, who were literally in the next room, and heard no screaming whatsoever. I hope you enjoyed my story, and as I can sense and see stuff, I have plenty more stories if you want to hear them, always. They said if you read this in one of your videos, I could die happy. I love you so much. Sorry this was so long. It really wasn't that long, but that is actually insane. Send me your other stories, please. Okay, I know this video is going to be a little bit shorter, but I'm going to read like 2 more because I'm actually like losing my voice entirely and I don't want to lose it because I want to be able to film more. So we're gonna just make them short and sweet. I guess I could make them longer and not film as much, but that's no fun. Whatever. Okay, this one's from Taylor and it says she tried to burn me alive. Here we go. She said, "Hi Courtney, my name's Taylor and man, do I have a story for you. It reminds me of VeggieTales. Do we have a show for you? Bum bum bum." So when I was really little, like 2 or 3 years old, there were 2 ghosts that I would talk to. One was a little boy and another was a woman. The little boy was basically my best friend when I was little, and my parents just thought he was an imaginary friend. Every night my parents would hear me talking to someone at around 2 or 3 a.m. I know this because they told me. They would come into my room and ask, "Who are you talking to?" And I'd always tell them, "The little boy in the corner." Can you imagine if every child's imaginary friend was actually a ghost? Conspiracy theory. I never knew this boy's name, but I always remember having conversations with him to this day, and I'm now 16. They were always lighthearted conversations, and it was just funny stuff. Like this one time, I remember he told me that he never had to wear clothes because nobody can see him. Facts. Until one day he told me that he had to go away because his mom was making him. I didn't see him after that, and he told me that when I was 4. So a week or 2 later, this woman showed up, and I don't really remember what she looks like, except she was always on fire. Well, this woman did not like me. She would never appear during the day, only at night while I was sleeping. So imagine 4-year-old me sleeping, my parents watching me on the baby monitor. Yes, I still had one. And my mom seeing something push me out of my bed and across the floor. 0 to 100. So of course I wake up screaming because that shit hurt. Whenever my parents would come into my room after, I would be burning hot. This happened for a week or 2. Then I would wake up screaming in the middle of the night saying she's burning me. I would scream this over and over when my parents came into my room, and I would be burning hot and all of my blankets would be on my bed. Like all my blankets would be hot. Yeah. This woman who was always on fire was trying to burn me alive. I think the woman was the little boy's mother and she didn't like me talking to him. We moved out of the house and haven't been back since, but we did some research into it. Okay. My email just fucking crashed. Well, it turns out there was a fire that burned a family to death back in the 1950s. Fast forward to last year, I had a dream there was a woman in it that I recognized from my childhood, and I think it was her. She wasn't on fire, but something about her made me think it was that woman. She said, "One more thing, I forgot to add that my parents finally realized the little boy wasn't imaginary when they saw him on the baby monitor." Was he naked? That's the tea. Oh my god, you guys are absolutely insane. Also, she linked her Instagram for me, so I will have her link down below. If you guys ever want me to add like your social media and stuff, just put it inside the email and I got you, because that's what we do here. We want everybody to be friends, want everyone to follow each other, because we got our little team going on. I keep saying, "Am I right, ladies?" And I know I need to stop that, but like, whatever. Okay, this one's from Katie. This one says, "I used an Ouija board and it was kind of amazing." So I'm excited to read this actually, because every other story is like so dramatic and so terrible. I just want to hear a nice Ouija board story like my own. "Hi Courtney, I absolutely love your videos and I think I've watched almost all of them. I love watching your Ouija board experiences with T, and that they were shown as good experiences rather than clickbaited with bad ones. Sorry this is so long. I don't use punctuation or capitalization. That's okay. We will try our best. Yesterday, my friends and I went to see a movie, and then we went to Barnes & Noble and decided to get a Ouija board. We kept calling it a Luigi board. All my friends do that too, or they'll send me a picture of like literally like Luigi on a board, like a Luigi board. Any Mario fans out there? Anyways, we went out in our front yard and I set up my phone to record it. The board was being weird. It kept barely moving, but we were kind of chalking it up to our hands being shaky. After about 10 minutes, we moved over to a table and tried again without recording. Almost immediately when we started, the planchette started to move again. It was going really slow at first, but that's usually regular. I feel like it also could have been slower because we were checking our phones a lot and taking drinks. We were also talking a lot to each other because this was our first time. That's what she said. I didn't even get that at first. I was just like reading the quotes or the parentheses. It felt like it had taken maybe 10 minutes to get to yes, but there's really no way either of us could have done it. It was such an unbelievable feeling because I really didn't think it would work. That's literally the story of my life. It felt like something was tugging at the planchette from the other side that we were holding it. Plus both of our fingers were basically hovering over the planchette, and it felt like it had power and force. It was surreal, and I don't even know if I really believe that it happened. Literally, like, that's like the perfect way to describe any Ouija board session I've ever had or any Ouija board experience I've ever had. Like, Kayla and I are barely touching the planchette and you just feel this force move it. It's not even like it's like really slow or it's like really light. Like, you can feel someone pushing and like taking it with them. That shit's crazy. Once the spirit said they wanted to talk to us, we got some answers we weren't expecting, which made me believe more that it wasn't my friend or maybe me doing it suspiciously. So subconsciously. Can I read suspiciously? It says subconsciously. Which made me believe it wasn't my friend or me doing it subconsciously. We asked what its name was and it slowly told us Ellie. We assumed it was male and continued. I decided that we should probably ask to make sure, and it turns out it was a female. I don't know if her full name was Elizabeth or Eliza, but she was a girl. Next she said she was a friendly spirit, but you never really know if you can trust that because what ghost is gonna say no? True. I think you kind of know though. I think there's like a feeling that you would get like in just like the air, where you would kind of know if they're evil or if they're nice or if they're tricking you. I just feel like it's like a sense that you just have with the board. Like it's something you can't really hide. We made sure we could ask her questions about her death and she said that was okay. We asked how she died and she said it was in her sleep. I immediately thought she died when she was older, so I said at least it was peaceful, and the planchette moved around a little bit, which I didn't think twice about. She said she died in 1909 and that she lived in my friend's house, which kind of creeped both of us out, but she said she didn't die in the house. We later found out she died of disease, so I'm thinking she died in a hospital of some sort. We put a silver coin on the board, which I got from your videos, and she said that it actually helped her talk to us, which I thought was really interesting. Exactly, like, it's actually the craziest thing that shit actually helps. Next, I asked if she was ever a mother. It was kind of random, but I felt really comfortable and calm. Almost like she was keeping me there to talk to her, but she said she wasn't. After that, we took a short 5-minute break. We asked her if she could talk to us again, and she said yes. We took a couple minutes to go to the bathroom and talk to another friend that was going to come, but didn't. I really don't think anybody would have actually believed us at all, even if they say they do. When we came back, she answered almost immediately. The next thing we asked is if we could film, because we really wanted people to see that we weren't lying, but she said we couldn't. It made more sense now, because when we were filming, it was almost like it couldn't move the planchette. I'm not sure why she wouldn't let us film, but some ghosts like T let you film. I was thinking maybe it was because she's from 1909 and it was something different. That actually makes a lot of sense. The next thing we asked is if she was able to communicate with us without using the board, flickering lights or moving things around. She said yes, and I was pretty terrified because I got weird feelings inside my friend's house. We asked if she could see us talking to her and she said no, but we had an idea that she could only see us when we were inside. Wait, what? Oh, because they were outside using the board. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, wait, what? I asked her if she'd be able to hear us if we said hi without using the board, and she said she could, which is so weird again. That is crazy. Like, T can hear everything I'm saying right now. What up, bitch? Next, she told us she died when she was 14, which I actually almost cried to. So we asked if it was a peaceful death, and she very quickly moved over to no. During all this time, she was slowly getting faster and faster. We asked her different ways of how she died, like if she couldn't breathe, heart problems, and then my friend asked if she committed suicide. I was so happy when she said she didn't, even if her death wasn't peaceful. We eventually found out she died from a disease, as I said before. My camera's gonna stop recording. Then we asked if she was stuck at the house because she lived there, and she said no. So we asked if she could move around, and she said no again. So I don't know exactly why she's stuck there. During all of this, my friend and I kept making stupid jokes about her dog and little sounds that scared us, and we asked if we could make jokes like that as long as they weren't about her. And she said yes, which made me happy because I'm not very good at being serious. Story of my life. She said we weren't the first people she talked to, but that she enjoyed talking to us. When we asked if we could talk to her again after we left for the day, she left from yes, and I was getting really sad because I liked talking to her, but she stopped right in the middle of yes and no. My friend thought maybe that meant I don't know, so we asked and she said yes. So I'm thinking maybe there are more spirits than just her, but maybe she's more powerful. It's like literally the same thing, my dude. Something weird that happened was that it was like she needed all of our attention. I was writing down everything she said in my notes app, and whenever I would, she would stop moving the planchette, although my other hand was on it. Same thing happened if we got a drink or looked at the time. Last weird thing, time went by so fast. We spent over an hour at the start getting 2 questions answered, but it felt like maybe 20 minutes. Overall, we spent over 3 hours doing this, and it felt like just an hour at most. Nobody really believed us, not even her mom who saw the planchette move. It could have been our subconscious, or maybe my friend was moving it. But every once in a while, we would not move our hands at all and pretty much hover over the planchette and it was still working, so I don't know. Anyways, that's all. Sorry it was so long. I'll update you if anything happens again. Oh, I love stuff like that. I love it because it's like the Ouija board is not just like evil and it's not crazy and it's not just Zozo and shit. Like, this stuff happens. Like, you can talk to nice spirits and you can talk to nice people and it's like a real experience and it's absolutely insane when it does happen. But it's like, stop with the drama. Stop with the drama. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any other paranormal stories that you want to send me, I will have the email written down below. Thank you to everybody who's been sending me stories. I have about 4,000, 5,000 at this point, not including Twitter and Instagram. I know I need to take them from them. I just have a horrible memory and I just don't think about it anymore, okay? I just see my email and I see like the 5,000 and I'm like, oh my god. But I'm gonna stop making promises. I need to stop making promises because I forget everything. But I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Then I'm just gonna get like 4 million porgs and that's just gonna be like my entire setup. I'll just get like porg stickers and stick them to everything. Oh my god, I'll get like a porg like blanket. It'll be my backdrop. I have a problem. See ya.